Hello everyone, welcome to the first video for Light Up Learning's Science 10 course. My name is Kevin and I'll be creating all these videos that you see under the Science 10 playlist. So you can watch all the videos in order, starting with this one for a full review and explanation of all the major concepts in Science 10, or you can selectively choose which videos to watch just based on the title name that you will see in each video. So without further ado, let's start our first video of Science 10, which will be on the WHMIS symbols. Alright, so the WHMIS symbols. WHMIS stands for the Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System, which essentially is a universal system of warning symbols that are used for hazardous materials. Many different chemicals, it's used in chemistry experiments, ranging from perhaps labs at your school, all the way to professional government conducted in state-of-the-art research rooms. All use chemicals that have WHMIS symbols. Why do we have WHMIS symbols? Well, the main goal of the WHMIS system is to warn people and users of those chemicals and what potential dangers that they may possess. And so now I'm going to go over the pictograms or the symbols that are part of the WHMIS system. Do note that as of 2015, there has been a revamped WHMIS system with new pictograms and new designs. However, based on the Alberta curriculum, the Alberta High School Science curriculum, I don't believe they have updated the WHMIS system yet, and so I will be teaching the old one as to be parallel to the Alberta school education system. So the first symbol that you see at the leftmost side of your screen here, that is a symbol for corrosive material. Okay, this can cause chemical burns if it comes in contact with skin. So if you see any sort of acid in a school lab and it has this symbol, just know that if it comes into contact with any part of your skin, it can cause chemical burns. The next symbol here is the symbol for any biohazardous infectious materials. And any chemical with this symbol will pose a risk to human health through spread or infection. So think COVID-19. That was a very big and dangerous biohazardous material since it spread from human to human so easily. The next symbol you see here is one that shows compressed gas, and this symbol essentially warns you that the chemical can cause explosions and fires due to the gas being under very heavy pressure. So any type of spray paint or can like that with chemicals inside, those are typically all gases under very heavy pressure, and so it can cause explosions or fires if it ruptures, if the can ruptures, or if it's the material inside is heated too much. It can cause those potential risks. The next symbol here, the last one on this slide, is one that demonstrates a poisonous or infectious material. And these materials can cause toxic effects like irritation of the skin or the eyes. And I'll show you this next symbol here, right here, the first one here. This is the symbol for also, as you'll see, for poisonous and infectious materials. The difference between this symbol and the last symbol that you saw, sort of like an exclamation mark, is that this symbol with the skull is much more serious and is a bigger risk to human health because it can cause immediate effects like death. Whereas this symbol here, even though it is a warning symbol of danger, it really only signals non-lethal effects and risks like irritation of the skin or the eyes. The second symbol on this slide here is one that shows reactive material. So any sort of highly unstable substances will have this symbol. Think about nuclear energy and how that is harnessed, right? You use a lot of reactive materials that are very unstable. And the next symbol here, this one is probably self-explanatory because there's a flame, but this symbol just essentially shows the potential danger of a chemical to catch on fire easily. Okay, so anything that might be able to catch on fire easily will have this symbol. And then the last symbol of the old WHMIS system is sort of a flame, but there's like a circle underneath it. The difference from this and flammable material is that this is a danger of any oxidizing materials. And what that means, it can cause other substances to catch on fire easily. So if something has a flammable material symbol, that means it itself can catch on fire easily. Something that has an oxidizing material symbol means that it can cause other things, other substances to catch on fire easily. Okay, and included in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about safety hazard symbols. And these different symbols serve the same purpose as WHMIS, which, like I said at the start of the lesson, is to warn people of the potential dangers of a certain substance or chemical. Do note, these symbols aren't part of WHMIS, so they're not part of this universal global system of pictograms to warn people. But many products that you'll see in a lab or even in your household will still use the symbols to communicate the risks. And for that reason, it's very important to also know what these symbols mean. So hazard symbols, not part of WHMIS, hazard symbols show typically two pieces of information: the degree of hazard as well as the type of hazard. Okay, so the degree of hazard is indicated by the shape and the color of the icon's border. So for example, a yellow triangle border means the level of risk is, in quotations, it's called caution. This just means that even though it is dangerous, it's the least dangerous chemical or substance compared to other substances with an orange diamond or red octagon border. Okay, orange diamond, it means it's warning. That's just the signal word that we use. But this is in between the yellow triangle and the red octagon in terms of danger level. And the red octagon means the key word associated with it is danger, but compared to the other safety hazard symbol borders, this would be the most dangerous. And then, of course, the type of hazard is indicated by the symbol within the border. And these are mostly similar to the ones you'll see in WHMIS. Okay, these symbols are mostly similar. They might have a little bit of different details here and there in the symbol, but if you know what these WHMIS symbols mean, the safety hazard symbols won't be too much different. The one exception is this symbol, which WHMIS doesn't really have at all. But a symbol like this means an explosive substance. Okay, like I said, many other safety hazard symbols are similar to WHMIS, so you should be able to notice them right away and be able to tell what they are. This would be the one exception, which is the symbol for an explosive substance. As well, material safety data sheets. These are sort of also resources that you as the user of a chemical can go through to inform yourself and of the dangers and to protect yourself and take the necessary measures to protect yourself from the dangers. So MSDS, these are created for any hazardous substance used in workplaces by manufacturers. So whichever warehouse or company created these substances, they must also include a MSDS. Okay, and these include all sorts of information for a certain substance, not just the symbols to show you it's corrosive and it's explosive and it's flammable, but they'll contain a lot of information such as its health effects in more detail, its toxicity level, the cleanup procedures if the chemical is spilled, as well as chemical and physical properties of the substance, such as its boiling point, melting point, its flash point, which you'll learn about later on, and stuff like that. All right, so to end off the video, we're just going to have two examples related to WHMIS and what we learned in this video. And at this point, feel free to pause the video and to answer this question. All right, so the question says, pick the correct combination from below to create the safety hazard symbol with a warning level risk of corrosion. And so the answer would be 2A, and this is because the signal word warning is associated with the orange diamond border. And like we learned on the first slide, this symbol is the WHMIS symbol used to signal a danger with corrosion. So if you put this symbol within this border, this would signal a hazard symbol with a warning level risk of corrosion. And last one. So again, feel free to pause the video. Now this one is essentially the same question, but it asks to create the safety hazard symbol with a danger level risk of death. And so this one would be 3C, and that's because, again, the danger level, the keyword danger is associated with the red octagon border for safety hazard symbols, and death would be signaled by the skull, because that's a very serious health risk. It would be signaled by the skull and not the exclamation mark that we saw previously in the lesson. All right, so that is the end of video 1 for Science 10 with Light Up Learning. I hope you enjoyed and learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.